As behavior analysts, teachers, and even parents, we all make mistakes teaching our children and clients with and without autism. Today, we'll be discussing some of the more common mistakes professionals and parents make when teaching. I know I've made all of these mistakes, and I'm sure you'll benefit from hearing these mistakes too. Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Barbera, autism mom, board certified behavior analyst, online course creator, and best-selling author of The Verbal Behavior Approach. Each week, I provide you with some of my ideas about turning autism around. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do that now. Today, I'm sharing a small excerpt from podcast number 27, an interview with Theresa McKeon, who is one of the creators of TAGTeach, and she discusses common mistakes when teaching children with autism. You can check out the full podcast episode at marybarbera.com/27 or click the card on the screen now. What are the mistakes you see when you do work with not just behavior analysts, but you work with a lot of teachers, a lot of trainers, and what do you think are like a couple of the mistakes you see most commonly?
Yeah. When the teacher has a picture in their mind of what they're seeing, or especially if something's on the table and you're doing writing or you're doing, pick up a pencil, in your mind what you're looking for. They don't. And so when they don't do all of those things that you're looking for, you go, that's wrong. And it's hard for you to break down what's wrong because it is just second nature. All the movements that you do to pick up a pencil and move it into your fingers and get it in the right spot, or pick up a glass or tie your shoes or any of these things, there's this picture that's so in your mind, it's hard to break down. So I think that is the hardest things is if we are teaching, we are probably pretty good at what we do to be the teacher, right? The very fact that you're teaching someone else means that you probably do it really well and have forgotten the steps that lead up to doing it. And even when you do think you can break it down, it's still too big. And that's frustrating to go, but I just told you, or I just showed you, or how come you couldn't take your finger and touch that dot? It's just so easy. It gets frustrating. And that goes across whether I'm teaching factory workers or organizational business or kids with autism or sports people. The teacher gets frustrated because I already know what it is. Yesterday, I was clicker training my new horse, and I wanted him to touch something, and he wouldn't. And I thought, well, why won't he touch this? I'm putting it right up in front of his face. And I just went, it's too much. For what reason? Now my job is to figure out, why is it too much? Is it too much stimuli? Is it I don't understand what you're doing? Do I need to make the skill smaller, or do I need to make the environment quieter? Or maybe both. But that's what I want teachers to remember, no matter where you're using whatever technology, whether you're using your technology or TAGTeach or Fluency or whatever you're looking at, is look at the learner. If they're learning, great, keep going what you're doing. But is it the skill that needs to be broken down? Is it the environment that needs to quiet? And that might include you. You might be too much in the environment for them to practice or feel confident. And with adults who don't have special needs that I found, I am the stimulus that's too much. Right? So if I'm looking at you, giving you instructions, all you're doing is thinking, am I nodding my head right? Am I blinking the amount of times? Is my eyebrow the right way? But if I can turn around and talk to you without looking at you, I've quieted the environment enough and basically told my learner, I'm going to give you a time to think about what I'm actually saying. Am I going too deep?
No. I do think that when kids don't make progress on anything, or when I don't make progress on anything, most of the time it's that I don't have the prerequisite skill, the skills needed. People are working on, single addition math or double addition math. And I'm like, how fluent are they with number identification?
Yes.
How fluent are they with one-to-one correspondence or whatever? Or if they're working on two 2-digit? Can they, how fluent are they with 1-digit? Well, they're not, but it's ready to move on. They're in 3rd grade, like get with the program. It's like, you can't just pull somebody into Spanish 4 when they haven't mastered Spanish 1, 2, and 3.
Even if you want
Otherwise,
to.
yeah, it's like, it's not going to work. So when people are struggling, even in my business, if there is a struggle, it's a systems issue. It's something that isn't, there's somebody's not fluent with something. There's an issue. There's a breakdown somewhere. So I think a lot of times I just really tell people, like, you need to bring it back. But I think TAGTeach also, with that kind of, and I don't know if this is an actual rule with TAGTeach. I kind of remember it as such, but I could be wrong. But like 3 attempts to do something and it's not working, you've got to add a prompt. Or is that kind of a rule? Or
Yeah, the 3 try rule. You're exactly right.
Okay.
3 tries depending on your learner. I know with your son, 3 was too many, right? I don't want him to get to the point where he throws that down and goes, I don't want to do it anymore, right? So can I catch it on the 1st try? Can I catch it on the 2nd try? So depending, the gymnasts were pretty good. They could go to 3 most of the time. So it just depends on your learner. Me, if I fail 3 times instead of in front of somebody that I respect, I'm going to be horrified. So don't let me fail 3 times, please.
Yeah. So I know one of the main challenges of spreading the TAGTeach technology is that people like your gymnast parents say, I don't want the same thing, clicker training used for animals. They're, even a lot of people have problems with ABA in general. And they're like, ABA is dog training and this is, inhumane. It's like, no, it's the most evidence-based treatment for autism. And if you're seeing not good procedures being done, that doesn't represent what I would consider good ABA or good TAGTeach or whatever.
Exactly.
But so how do you respond to people that say that TAGTeach is just clicker training in disguise and that we shouldn't be using it for humans if we're using it for animals?
Yeah. Boy, I used to battle with this a lot, mostly in my mind. I won't battle with somebody because if they don't like it, that's fine. You can explain to them the science, but at this point, they probably don't want to hear anything about that. I simply can go in without the audible marker and use something that they are familiar with, use an audible marker that they use every day, which is yes or good, or something that is typically acceptable. And then you can say, you do see the same, right? Or in a nice way, you could say, yes is my marker. This is a little faster, a little cleaner. It has less stress involved with it. I'm not putting as much pressure on you. I won't have a tendency to go, yes, and do all these weird things that we do with our words. But if they're not accepting of that and I can't get them to learn, then I won't use that marker. And so I won't fight them on. There is nothing about saying, do this, good job, that is any different than, that's not dog training. To them, that's normal training. And that's what we've always tried to say, that being clear about what we want and putting parameters around success and then saying, yes, you've done it. What is dog training about that?
I hope you enjoyed this short snippet from the podcast. If you want more content, check out the podcast at marybarbera.com/podcast. Wherever you're watching this, I'd love it if you would leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, share this video with others who may benefit. And for more information, you can attend a free online workshop at marybarbera.com/workshop. And I'll see you right here next week.